Hey everybody, welcome back to the Royal Read. I am so glad you decided to stop by and see what I'm reading on. But before we get started, you already know I do it every single time. I have to because I want to invite everyone in to be a part of this great, terrific. I can't even find the adjectives to describe how wonderful this particular community is. And if you want to be a part of it, you know what you need to do? Jump in those settings, look around, find that subscribe button and go ahead on and subscribe. And while you're in there, hit that notification bell too so you know when I upload or when I just want to pop in. And give me a thumbs up to fight that nemesis of mine, that beast, that algorithm. I'm telling you, I don't even really want to talk about it. It's been dragging me. It drugged me on my last video. It did, but it's okay. It's okay. I always come out on top. Why? Because of my community, because of my tribe. Also, I want to give a big shout out to all of the readers who decide to support the channel by watching the commercials. Listen, y'all been coming through and I really, really appreciate it. Also, look over there in the corner. That's our join button. That's for channel memberships. And if you choose to become a channel member and a part of the reading club, you will be supporting my channel to grow, to improve, and to continue. And I will be so grateful, so thankful, so over the moon appreciative to have that support. And if you just want to do a one-time donation, look over there in the other corner. That's our super thanks. And all donations to the channel is always greatly appreciated. All right, y'all, we do have some shout outs. And first up is Elizabeth Cumberbatch. She's everything. Elizabeth is everything. She is a ride or die. She absolutely is. She is always down for the read. Ugh. And that right there is everything. And she's always in the comments, always dropping that knowledge of hers. I'm telling you, just a cornerstone of this community. So I am so grateful to have her. So thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here. That is everything. And next up is Lorna McKenzie. Lorna, thank you for seeing something in my channel. Thank you for supporting the read. Thank you for being a part of this community. Thank you for coming through, girl. Thank you. And I am so grateful and so thankful to have you as a part of this community. So thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here. And last but not least is Kino Najori. Kino is becoming a ride or die, y'all. Kino is always coming through. Kino is down for the read, down for this community. I'm telling you, becoming such a huge part of this tribe, and I am thrilled. I am over the moon to have Kino as a part of this community. I cannot say how thrilled I am. I be going in there and Kino be dropping the knowledge. If you see Kino's comments, read it because it's always something in there. It's always a nugget in there. It really, really is. So thank you, Kino. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for seeing something in this channel. Thank you for being a part of this community and just thank you for being here. All right, y'all, I'm going to play this and we'll talk on the other side. I must say, I really like that music. I do. They be jamming, don't they? But let me get to it. Listen, I want to give another quick shout out to Elizabeth Cumberbatch, Lorna McKenzie, and Kino Najori. Y'all are everything. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for the super thanks. But most of all, y'all, most of all, and I really mean this when I say it, thank you for being here. That part right there is everything. All right, y'all. So let's get started. And y'all know when I am putting the read together, y'all know what I do. I hit these internet streets. And let me tell you, I have been in these streets most of the day. I have gone all over the place. Not every place, but I've been around, as they say. I've been around, and y'all know I'm gonna hit Instagram, see what the squatties over there doing, and I also stalked Meghan. I have to do that. And then I went to TikTok for a little bit, and I went to Blue Sky just for a minute. But y'all know my favorite place to go where I land every single time, and that would be X, formerly known as Twitter, lovingly called the sewers, seeing what the squatties are doing over there. And let me tell you, they are doing God's work. They are, they are, because it is two big stories today. And can you not believe that the Daily Fail did not have a story, a made up story about Harry and Meghan? If they did, I didn't see it on my timeline. And usually it comes down every Sunday. So I just assumed that it was no big story about Harry and Meghan, but it was about William and Kate. Yes, it was. It was one about William and Kate. And you ain't going to believe this, one about Prince Philip. I kid you not. And wait till y'all get a load of it. I'm telling you, I cackled. And it is all stemming from that book. You know, that book that the same author who was talking about Harry punched Andrew in the nose, and this is supposed to be a book about Andrew. Yes, he has a little gem he untossed out there about Prince Philip. Now, I'm not saying I believe it, but I'm not saying it's out of the realm of possibility because we all know Philip was a hoe. He was. He cheated on the queen, and we all know the name, Penny Natchbull. Yes, and she was there at the funeral. She was involved with every portion of it. She attended everything right there with the queen. Now, she didn't sit with the queen, of course, but she was there. She was present. Yes, she was. And they say that this whole affair lasted like 20 years or more. So, like I said, we knew that Philip was not a faithful husband and that it is not something that is innate in the Windsor men. So that's why I'm saying it's not out of the realm of possibilities. But wait till y'all get a load of what they are saying. We're going to talk about that. Then we have some other little things we're going to talk about. But those are the two big stories today. And like I said, we're going to be all over it because why? The squatties are all over it. Yes, they are, to the point where they have called in reinforcement. They have called in the bots. They have, because the squatties been on there dragging. I'm telling you, it has been epic. It really, really has. Now, I saw this one squatty. Now, I assume this person was a squatty because I don't know every squatty it is to know, and we are gaining new people every day. But I just found this question kind of off-putting and odd. If you're a squatty, saying, why are we wasting our time, dragging these people, dragging William and Kate, dragging that family over there? We should be focused on Harry and Meghan. And I'm thinking that is very, very strange because we drag them because they drag our faves. This is called a pushback. And if they want to continue on dragging our faves, we as squatties need to make it as uncomfortable for them while they're doing that. Okay? Because if we leave them alone to persecute our faves, to absolutely destroy our faves. That's exactly what these trolls, these toadies, these derangers, these ugly old hags, these flying monkeys, these minions, and these smelly old skanks want us to do. So I just found that odd because the squatties are on their job today, and that job is to push back, to make them uncomfortable while they are doing their dirt. That is why we're talking about them, because it is known that we won't stop until they stop. If they stop, we'll be happy not to talk about them anymore. That's my point. And I thought that was the point of most squatties. Yes, not to allow them to be comfortable in their abuse. So, yeah, I found that really strange. But the squatties are on their necks. They are, and it is a beautiful and wonderful thing. So if anybody ever say, why are we paying attention to them, William, Kate, Cammy, and Chuck? Why are we bothering with them? It's because they are bothering with Harry and Meghan. Just to get that clear, just to put it out there so it's no confusion. That's all I'm saying. But yes, we're going to talk about them, and then we have a few other little things we're going to talk about. So let's get started. I'm going to put this up, and like I said, it's a good day because if it was a negative article written in the Daily Fail about Harry and Meghan this Sunday, I didn't see it. And this has been the first Sunday in many of Sundays that they have not done that. And they chose to highlight this nonsense with William and Kate and this new house. Yes, but we have, like I said, I got a little update for it. And that is the reason they are getting drugged today. All right, so I'm going to put this up. We're going to get started. And look at this. Now, this is a repost, and the original post posted the big write up of Sunday. And it wasn't about Harry and Meghan, it was about Willie and Kitty. And the original squatty that posted this article said this: I thought this was going to last 3 hours, but we're still going. And you want me to tell you why we're still going? Well, it's the comments. I mean, thousands of comments. And the comments are going in on Willie and Kitty. I kid you not. And this, look at the article. This is what the article says: William and Kate's forever home fallout. Two families are asked to vacate cottages next to the Windsor Country Pile with tennis court and ballroom to make way for the Waleses. Now, when have you ever saw an article talking about Kitty and Willie saying what they are going to have in their homes? We usually hear that about Harry and Meghan. 16 bathrooms, 150 bedrooms, and all of that. They constantly say that about Harry and Meghan. And the price of their home is always going up. It's 8 million, then it's 14 million, then it's 15 million. You never know what they're going to say. This is the first time, to my recollection, that they actually said something about what was going on with Peggy and Kitty. And they say it's going to have tennis courts and it's going to have a ballroom. Yes, and I love this for them. And I must say, I am shocked by this when it comes to the fail. Well, another squatter came in and reposted this and said this: well, what do we have here? Did the Prince of Ending Homelessness just make two families homeless? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And that right there is what people are honing in on. And I think it's because they really don't like Peggy and Kitty like that. Because this has really become a rub for the people of the United Kingdom. Those comments are brutal. They are brutal. And I'm getting the feeling that they understand that. And they have sent out the bots, like I said earlier. It's becoming dire for Peggy and Kitty. It really is. Because people are mad. They don't want to work. They're lazy. And that whole debacle of VJ Day not showing up, because I'm telling you, that did them no favors. And especially when Chuck and his horse showed up, crying, playing their roles to perfection. Charles, the cancer stricken king, his wife, who is afraid for him, and she's crying too, and just they ate it up. They did. And William, a no show, and his mediocre queen to be, a no show. They're somewhere in the Greek Isles floating around on a $500 million yacht while these people who are being celebrated are people who have given it all. They laid their lives on the line in order for him to be able to do that. And for him not to show up and Kitty not to show up, that was not a good look. And then on top of that, just a couple of days later, it comes out that they are getting a much bigger house. They're getting their seventh home and they're doing renovations on it. I already started going to move into it. People are not happy. The comment section of all of these media outlets are not looking good for Peggy and Kitty. I'm telling you, we're going to talk about it a little later, but not looking good. Not looking good. I'm going to put this up. It says, oh, the dragging on all fronts, all social media platforms. They wanted distraction from missing VJ attendance. They sure are getting it. Yes, they are. They are, and I love it for them. I do. And the comments, I mean, it is the number of comments. That is what's shocking to me. The number of comments. Usually you don't get that number of comments unless it's some negative story about Harry and Meghan. But no, not today. It's all Peggy and Kitty. I love it for them. I do. I'm gonna put this up, and was my point in the beginning of this podcast. And this squatty said, imagine if this were Prince Harry and Meghan. Two families have been asked to leave their homes so that the Prince of Homelessness and his mumbling wife can live in a 8-bedroom mansion. They would have crucified Harry and Meghan. It's always been a double standard. And for them to get just a little bit of what Harry and Meghan would have gotten if this had been them, oh, y'all, I have loved it. This has been such a great day because we all know they're not used to the dragging. They're not. And all I can say, more of it. They need more of it because these people have been built up and built up. This invisible contract has been such a shield to them, and they have been mediocre, lazy, irresponsible. They have done some dirty, dirty stuff. And I mean this whole Cinnabali thing. Now, I can't prove any of that, but we all know the flying monkeys come out every time attacking Harry and Meghan when they are getting an award. They're starting to attack their accolades. So it's hard for me to muster up any kind of sympathy for these two. All I can say is keep the dragging going. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up and look who picked it up. Yes, people wrote a story about it. I love this for Peggy and Kitty. How does it feel? Does it feel really bad in the pit of your stomach? It should, because this is what you have been doing to Harry and Meghan. You're just getting a hint of a taste of what Harry and Meghan has been going through for going on, what, 8 to 9 years now? All I can say is I love it for you. Now, this is what people wrote. They said, Kate Middleton and Prince William's planned move from Adelaide Cottage causes two families to vacate their homes. How diabolical. How diabolical of these people to kick these families out. And he is supposed to be such a champion of the homeless. And he's out here making people homeless. You could not make this up. Now, they say that they found them new places to live. I don't know if all that's true because you know that they be running interference. I have no idea. But all I know is they were settled. They seemingly was happy because they were still staying there, and they had to go. They absolutely had to go because the whales can't have anybody near them. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up. And this is going on these internet streets. The derangers are losing their shit about this one article. The Daily Mail finally took Willie and Kitty to task slightly, because it was not a hit piece. Because we have suffered some hit pieces when it comes to Harry and Meghan. This is nothing close to a hit piece, but they can't even handle that. Can you imagine if they had to handle what Harry and Meghan's fandom has to handle just coming out of their crazy fevered minds? Can you imagine? Because we don't even do that. We don't make up stuff about Willie and Kitty. We do not. We just report on what is out there. These people, these fevered minded trolls, these fevered minded old hags, they make stuff up. They make it up. So we have to contend with that nonsense as well as the rags over there making stuff up, pushing back on all of that. But yet and still, one article, they lose their shit over. Can you imagine? But I'm putting it up. It says this: the Rangers are crying over a Daily Fail article on Willie and Kate evicting two families out of their homes because they are in too close proximity to their new sixth forever home. Now imagine the outrage if Prince Harry and Meghan Sussex were to get two families evicted for their privacy. Where is the lie? Where is it? And that is the reason why we're on the case. This is why we're reporting on it. This is why we're pushing back on it. This is why we're reveling in it. Because the squad is online. They are reveling in it. They are. They are dragging. They are having a ball. And all I can say is it's about time. Because, yeah, what if it was Harry and Meghan? Oh my goodness. I can't even imagine what they would put that couple through, what they would put Harry and Meghan through. It would be HE double hockey sticks on wheels and on fire. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up. And this is the reason why they are having a hissy. This is the reason why Peggy and Kitty should be worried. This is the reason why they're circling the drain. Look at the comments. These kind of comments are reserved for hate articles about Harry and Meghan. This number, this is what Harry and Meghan usually get from some kind of hit piece. But this is about Willie and Kitty. over 3,700 comments. And the majority, when I tell you the majority, I mean the majority, the overwhelming majority, negative. This particular squatty posted this and said this. Woof, wonder how many of the 3,700 comments are saying how deserving William and Kate are of their fifth home. Yes, I wonder how many, but we all know how many, not many. And when you look at that number of comments by an article from William and Kate, usually William and Kate get maybe less than 1,000. They're doing real good when they go over 1,000 comments. I have rarely saw them get over 1,000 comments. It's usually like 3, 4, and sometimes even less than that. So 3,700 comments. Woo! Circling the drain. That's all I'm saying. Circling the drain. People are angry. And I'm going to put this one up. And this particular squatter just kept it simple and said, it's been a long time since a headline about William and Kate got this many negative comments. All I can say is amen. Amen. And I love it for them. And this one right here was it was at 1,600. It went up to 3,700. Think about that. This is when this particular squatty posted this. It was already at 1,600. The other squatty, 3,700. It's no telling where it's at right now. People are pissed. And can you blame them? They're struggling to feed their families, struggling to make the rent. And all of those people that he rent to are in those moldy houses. And this man has the audacity to champion homelessness and is going into what I believe his seventh home. And I also believe this would not be received so negatively if him and his mannequin wife was not so lazy. VJ Day just put a highlight, just put a spotlight on their laziness, that they don't care. I have never saw two people are just going to do whatever they want to do. They have no sense of duty. That is what they tried to put on Harry and Meghan, because Harry and Meghan would not continue to allow them to abuse them, so they left. Harry and Meghan had a sense of duty, but they just could not stay because of the abuse. If the abuse wasn't there, Harry and Meghan would have been there on VJ Day. You best believe that. But these people had all opportunities to be there at VJ Day, but they blew it off because they're lazy. And I think this is the public backlash to them being so lazy. I do. Because I don't think it would have been a backlash if they had attended VJ Day, continued to do their duties and work hard. People wouldn't say anything because there's certain things is expected of them. Because look at the Queen. The Queen had all this money, everything. And people didn't feel any kind of way about the Queen because she was hardworking. Every time the numbers came out for the number of engagement, the Queen was always at the top. But these people are always at the bottom, and they're continuing to just suck the life blood out of the British taxpayer. They are. They are just getting everything they can get out of them. And people are tired of it. They are. And they're trying to offset the backlash by saying that they're paying for the renovations themselves, $4 million. Who believed that? Put it in the comment if you believe that. Because at the end of the day, they can't be paying for anything because every dime that they get comes from the British taxpayer. So if they're paying for it, the British taxpayer is still paying for it anyway. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this one up, and I don't know if it's true. I don't know if Squatty just spouting off and saying this, but look what this Squatty said. The copycats, W and K, are going to create their own Montecito, complete with chicken coops and all. What y'all think? I really believe that. I would not be surprised if they didn't put some chickens in. I would not be surprised if they didn't dig a pond to try to create create the Pacific Ocean. I would be surprised if they went hauling dirt to try to mount up the mountains to give some kind of just, the Timu version of the mountains that Harry and Meghan have when they walk out on their balcony. I mean, these people are sick. I have said it time and time again. Keep your door locked. Keep your security on point, Harry and Meghan, because these people will absolutely come in and you will find yourself in the back of a utility truck, gagged up and headed back to the United Kingdom. Yes, the kind of jealousy that Willie and Kitty has, it's a sickness. So I'm not going to be surprised by anything. The chicken, I wouldn't be surprised if that wasn't copied. The pond with the Japanese fish, probably going to be copied. The swing with the big tree, they're going to find some tree and they're going to transplant it over there. They're going to do that too. I will not be surprised if they didn't try to copy everything that Harry and Meghan has in Montecito. So get ready. Get ready, squatties. We're going to have the biggest laugh of them all because the Timu versions of Harry and Meghan are on their game. They are. They on the BS. They are. So I won't be surprised by any of it. I'm just saying. All right, y'all. I'm going to put this one up, and I had to include it. I just had to because it is so true. Because we know the champion of homelessness, the one who showed up to sell this paper, the big issue, the one that homeless people sell in order to get money to try to, get just the basic needs of life. Yes, he showed up and with his Rolex watch and took a picture with Dave. Yes, he just, look at him. Look at the picture. And he did it twice. It says Prince William posed with his red cap selling the Big Issue magazine with pal Dave, who he would not even invite him for a cup of coffee. It is about the money shot. And you can tell these people are so performative. And it says his pal Dave, for the third time in a year. For the third time, he has used Dave for the money shot. And Dave is still homeless. I'm not laughing at Dave being homeless. I'm laughing at William for being such a fake and phony. And it says, after vowing to end homelessness once and for all. Yes. I don't see how he's going to do that. He's too busy moving from house to house to house. I mean, stop. Stop already. This particular squatty said, I can't wait for Prince Billy to pose yet again with Dave. Yes. Get the money shot. He is definitely going to get the money shot. But, baby, it's not going to hit the way it used to hit. His phony baloney, fake, homeless campaign, people are not going to buy it anymore. People are not buying what he's selling after this whole thing about this seventh home, this seventh forever home, and having these families to move. Those comments, people are they just never going to buy it. It's never going to hit the same. he can absolutely get out here and pretend like he cares all he wants to and find Polo Dave wherever Dave is selling his papers trying to survive and get another money shot. But it's not going to go down very well. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up. And of course, the ugly old hags, the derangers, the toadies, the trolls, not the flying monkeys, but the toadies and the minions and the smelly old skanks. Of course, they have to come up with some kind of distraction. And their distraction today to try to get us off of Will and Kate's neck was to say Harry and Meghan is the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. What have they done for Sussex? What have they done for the county of Sussex? And let me tell you, were they met with some resistance? Absolutely. Were they met with some facts? Yeah, I would say so. And I'm going to put this up, and this is an example post of how the squatties dealt with this nonsense on these here internet streets. And all I can say to this particular squatty who posted this, mwah, chef's kiss, because it hit the way it needed to hit. I'm just saying. This squatty said this. They asked, what has Harry and Meghan done for Sussex? I'm asking, what has Prince Andrew done for York? And what are the Prince and Princess of Wales doing for Wales? Yes, yes, yes. Don't mess with us. Don't start none, won't be none. Right now, we're talking about William and Kate. Don't try to distract us and try to make us talk about Harry and Meghan in Sussex. Stop it. Because at the end of the day, what is any of them doing for it? The counties are the places that they have named titles for. Let's not get it twisted. If it was up to York, if it was up to the people of York, Andrew would not be the Prince of York. So stop it. We're not going to be distracted. We're going to continue on being on the Wales' neck about what people are talking about. We're just talking about what the people are talking about. We are not allowed to talk about what the people are talking about. The derangers are having a breakdown, a meltdown. And all I can say is, I love that for you. And leave us alone and let us get back to our dragon aroma. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this one up. And of course, they cannot take the heat. This particular squatty said, how predictable, the Kensington Palace bots have been deployed. Yes, they are on these internet streets, but that's okay. That's okay. We got some for them. I'm just saying it because I'm going to put this up. Look what the other squatty put up. His squatty said, the Sussex squad is ready. Bring it on. Exactly. And that is what has been happening on these internet streets. It has been an enjoyable day. It really have, because the squatties have been out in full force and they have been in dragging mode. And most of the people who are commenting on all of these different social media posts by these news organizations and these rags, they are not squatties. They're not. They are British citizens who is tired of the nonsense, tired of the BS, tired of people digging in their pockets. It doesn't have anything to do with the squatties. Now, are the squatties contributing to the dragging? Yes, but it's not us who initiate the dragging and who is doing most of it. So let's not get it twisted. We're just joining in and having fun because, why not? I'm just saying. All right, y'all, we're going to switch gears a little bit. And this is the second story in the Daily Fail that is making waves. Yes. And it is a story that has come out of that upcoming book. The one that they had last Sunday talking about Harry had punched Andrew in the nose. Y'all remember that nonsense? Well, this is from the same author. His name is, what is his name? Andrew Loney, I think that's his name. Yes, he keeps putting out these lies. Now, I'm not going to say what he's saying about Prince Philip is far-fetched and out of the realm of belief. But, you have to take everything this man says with a grain of salt, because he did say that Harry punched Andrew. And Harry sent a cease and desist letter to the mail. And Harry says it is a bald-faced lie. And it's hard for me to trust a liar. It really is. If they lie about one thing, they'll lie about another. This man is trying to sell a book. So I'm taking it with a grain of salt, but of course I'm going to report on it because it is messy. And y'all know how much I love a mess. So let's get into it. I'm going to put it up. And this is the article. It says Fergie's mom was Prince Philip's lover. This cuckolding scandal claim is the talk of the palace after Prince Andrew bombshells. Now, one of the Duke's friends tell Richard Kay the inside story. So it started with this Arthur, but now Richard Kay is, he's reporting on it, which gives it a little weight when it comes to maybe being true. But we all know Richard Kay is a liar as well. He's one of those flying monkeys. But I find this so messy. I do. And this particular squatty that posted it said this. What? I have a question though. If Prince Philip had a relationship with Fergie's mom while he was married to Her Majesty the late Queen Elizabeth, why did he get so mad at Fergie as the tabloids reported when those pictures of Fergie and John Bryan were made public? He wouldn't have anything to do with Fergie after that. He didn't want her in his sight. And I'm telling you, it is running rapid on these internet streets. They are saying, that the affair lasted during the time that Fergie was conceived. I kid y'all not. I'm just saying. I'm going to put this up. And this particular squatty said, not me finding out today that Sarah Ferguson's mom was a whole baddie. And then this other squatty came up under it and said, well, the affair is alleged to have happened between the late 1950s to the early 1970s. Sarah Ferguson was born in 1959. There is a possibility that, never mind. Yes, that's what people saying. And we all know they believe in marrying cousins and brothers. No, I ain't gonna say brothers, but we but we all know Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip were cousins. They were. And they're saying that it's a possibility that Fergie was Philip's. And so if that's the case, Prince Andrew married his half sister. Y'all, it is getting messy. It is getting messy. And I'm going to put this up. This particular squatty said they're keeping the bloodline pure. I guess so. And it says, and then they're half brother and half sister with children. At that point, it's less royalty and more genealogy. Jenga. The bloodline has never been cleaner. Well, we all know they worried about that bloodline when Meghan married into that family, didn't they? Charles and Kate. Yeah, they did. But I don't know. Y'all tell me what y'all think, because we're talking about a half brother and a half sister here. This is getting messy, 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 and I love it. I do. But I guess I want to know what y'all think. I mean, is it possible? Absolutely. Because, like I said, Prince Philip got around. But is it probable? Y'all tell me what y'all think. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this one up. And this particular squatty posted the article and said this. At this point, it would probably be easier to list the women in their circle that Philip didn't cheat on the queen with. He was a hoe. He was a straight up hoe. And I also think that the queen didn't want to be bothered with him no more. She got what she wanted out of it was her children. And the queen was too busy being the queen. And I remember this scene in The Crown where they really thought that he was being unfaithful. I'll put it that way, in a delicate way. And the queen went to him and asked him what he wanted. What did it take for him to be happy? And then not long after that, at the end, they put up the relationship he had with Penny Natchbull. They did. And we all know that he stayed with Penny till he died. Well, right before he died, because he moved back into Windsor Castle because of COVID and because of his failing health. So he was there with the Queen. So I'm just saying, yeah, Philip was a hoe, and hoish tendencies run in that Windsor male line. So I don't know. But I don't know if Bergie being I don't know, an outside baby, I don't know. Y'all just tell me what y'all think. But all I can say is this. I find it all delicious. But I kind of feel like he's dead. Why are we rehashing this? You know what I'm saying? But, they dig up the queen to beat Harry and Meghan with. They do. That's something to think about. Why should we not participate in them digging up Philip and beating them within him? I'm just saying. Y'all just tell me what y'all think. Are we wrong? Somehow it feels so right to me. I'm just saying. All right, I'm going to put this one up. And this particular squatty said, there's a good chance of a brother and sister marriage. And she's cracking up. And it says, I love Loney, but oh my God, the bombs he is dropping are just unbelievable. I think that's what that face is. And it says they started their affair allegedly in the late 1950s. Sarah Ferguson was born in 1959, but she grew up within the same circles because of her father. Her father, I think he trained the horses or something like that. Yes, yes. What y'all think? I don't know, but the squatties are having a ball with it. They really, really are. This book, it is going to be a lot of people who are going to be mad about this book because it seems like he's dragging everybody in this book. And he is not above lying because we know he lied on Harry. Why would he not lie on Prince Philip? But, it's easier to believe about Prince Philip because Prince Philip was a known whore. He was. He cheated on the queen, which I feel the queen was cool with because the queen had got what she wanted to get out of the marriage, which was her children, and she was done with it. She absolutely was. She was on to her reign, and he was just someone who stood beside her. They had that kind of relationship. They had a sense of duty together, that kind of relationship. I don't think they had like a sexual type relationship anymore because he had to find Penny Natchbull. I'm just saying. Y'all just tell me what y'all think. Very, very interesting stuff on this Sunday afternoon, I must say. But let's be for real. None of these Windsor couples are really truly love matches. Like Chuck and Cam, they don't really spend time together. Look at her. She's off on a yacht in the Greek Isles, sunning on the deck of a yacht, from this prince from Saudi Arabia. Yeah, and Charles was somewhere looking for mushrooms. They don't spend no time together. She's at her house, he's at his house most of the time. They don't spend time together. Harry said that. And he didn't make any exceptions for the Queen and Prince Philip or Kate or William or Cammy and Charles. You can tell that it is not, you know, they don't live together. They don't. And William kind of let the cat out of the bag when he was talking about his beard and Charlotte. In that South African interview, the same interview where he said that Kate had precancerous cells. Yes, he said that Charlotte, when she saw his beard, she just burst out in a flood of tears. And we all know it takes a little while to grow a beard. So they kind of let the cat out of the bag that they are not together. They don't see their father a lot, at least not during the week or 4 weeks at a time, because it takes a minute to grow a beard as thick as his beard was at the time. But I digress. And also, let me say this. Y'all remember also, he said in that interview that he hadn't even talked to them. He had been there several days and had not called home at all. And we squatties, we picked up on that. And everything that Harry said about these couples are true. And y'all remember when Harry was in New York, he had Meghan and the kids on FaceTime and all of that. Yes. But not William. He absolutely, when he sits down and crosses his legs, if you want to get the truth out of him, I think that is the reason why they don't let him do that many interviews, because when he's in there, he tells the truth. He does. He tells the truth. And we get a lot of good inside information. Like Kate doesn't have cancer. She has precancerous cells. That he doesn't see his kids that often because Charlotte burst out in a flood of tears when she first saw his beard, and it had been 3 or 4 days had passed, and he had not called home or spoke to his children. All good insight. And we had not had him to sit down in another interview since then. I'm just saying, but yes. So I'm not surprised by any of this. I'm just saying, and I'm saying it's a possibility as well. Like I said, y'all tell me what y'all think. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up, and it says this particular squatty posted this and said, congratulations to Archewell on securing the trademark. Y'all, this is a surprise to me. I was thinking Archewell already had its trademark. Am I the only person who thought that? Y'all let me know in the comments. But I really did. But I'm glad they got it. I really, really am. And I did not know it took that long to get a trademark. We've been saying Archewell for some years now, and we are just getting the trademark. But the squatty goes on to say the Archewell Foundation has finally obtained the trademark and will officially receive the mark soon. And that might be when we get some merch. And that could be the reason why they have not given out any merch or put any merch on their website, because they hadn't secured the trademark. Does that make sense, y'all? And here is the official paper saying that they have secured the trademark. So yeah, congratulations to Archewell. But I am a little surprised, I must say. I really thought Archewell had his trademark. I guess it takes a long time. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments. Okay, y'all, I want to remind y'all, look at this. It says 10 days to go before With Love Megan season 2 drop on Netflix. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I absolutely cannot wait. 10 days. 10 days, y'all, and we will be talking about each and every episode. We will. I cannot wait. All right, y'all. I will see y'all next time. Bye.